You wake up heavy, foggy, and already tired. Your waistline has quietly expanded, your blood pressure is creeping up, and your doctor has said the words borderline diabetes or metabolic syndrome. It feels as if your own body has turned against you. But what if, instead of fighting your body, you could send it the right signals with every bite of food? Signals that whisper, heal, repair, burn, protect. This is the world of eat to beat your diet. For years, you may have blamed yourself. Not enough willpower, not enough discipline, yet science tells a different story. In metabolic syndrome, hormones, blood vessels, fat cells, and inflammation are tangled together like a tight knot. Dr. William Li argues that dieting harder is not the answer. Eating smarter is. Instead of starving yourself, you will learn how to feed the very systems that control fat, sugar, and energy in your body. We often speak about metabolism as if it were a number on a calculator. Fast, slow, or broken. In reality, metabolism is alive. Billions of cells breathing, burning, repairing every second. Eat to beat your diet shows that your metabolism is not fixed at birth. It is dynamic and responsive. Food, sleep, movement, and stress all send messages. In metabolic syndrome, the wrong messages have been repeated for years. Today, we start changing that conversation. Dr. Li describes 5 powerful defense systems built into your body. Angiogenesis that shapes blood vessels, regeneration that repairs tissues, the microbiome that lives in your gut, DNA protection that guards your genetic code, and immunity that fights invaders. In metabolic syndrome, these systems are under stress or misfiring. Food can either fan the flames or help them rebalance. The real diet is not about restriction, it is about empowering these defenses. Metabolic syndrome is like a silent storm building inside the body. Elevated waist circumference, high blood pressure, abnormal blood fats, rising blood sugar. Each sign alone may seem minor, but together they create a powerful risk for heart disease, stroke, and type 2 diabetes. Many people do not feel sick until suddenly they do. This is why learning to eat for your inner defense systems is not vanity. It is self-protection at the deepest level. Imagine every meal as your hand on a light switch. One direction turns on insulin spikes, fat storage, and inflammation. The other direction turns on fat burning, vessel repair, and blood sugar balance. Eat to beat your diet teaches us that food is not simply a reward after a hard day, it is information. Certain foods can literally switch on genes that support a healthier metabolism and turn down pathways that push you toward diabetes and heart disease. Traditional dieting starts with one word: no. No sugar, no fat, no pleasure. This approach often backfires, triggering cravings and shame. Dr. Li proposes a different starting point. Yes. Yes to foods that help your blood vessels grow healthy branches, that calm inflammation, that feed good gut bacteria. Instead of obsessing over what to remove, you begin by adding what heals. As these foods take up space on your plate, the harmful ones quietly lose their power. Inside, you runs a network of blood vessels over 60,000 miles long, delivering oxygen and nutrients to every organ. This system, called angiogenesis, is like a city's roadmap. Too few vessels and tissues starve. Too many abnormal ones, and diseases like cancer or diabetic complications can grow. In metabolic syndrome, unhealthy vessels stiffen, narrow, and misbehave. Certain foods, surprisingly, help normalize vessel growth and protect their delicate lining. The inner lining of your blood vessels, the endothelium, is like a silk wallpaper sensitive to everything that passes by. High blood sugar, oxidized fats, and chronic inflammation scratch and bruise this surface, inviting plaque buildup and high blood pressure. Eat to beat your diet shows that foods rich in polyphenols and healthy fats, such as extra virgin olive oil and certain fruits, can help protect this delicate lining, making each heartbeat safer and smoother. When you pinch your waist, it is easy to curse fat as the enemy. But fat is also an organ with important jobs, storing energy, secreting hormones, cushioning organs. The problem in metabolic syndrome is not simply having fat, it is having the wrong kind, in the wrong places, behaving in the wrong way. Eat to beat your diet. explains how food can help shift your body from dangerous visceral fat towards safer patterns, and how even existing fat can be made less harmful. Hidden within your body is a special kind of fat that does the opposite of what you fear: brown fat. Unlike white fat that stores energy, brown fat burns calories to produce heat. It is like a small furnace scattered in your neck, shoulders, and around your spine. Dr. Lee explains that certain foods and habits can nudge brown fat into action, slightly increasing calorie burn, even at rest. For someone with metabolic syndrome, reigniting this furnace can gently assist weight loss. Deep in your gut lives a bustling community of bacteria and other microbes, the microbiome. They help digest food, produce vitamins, and send signals that affect hunger, blood sugar, and inflammation. A disrupted microbiome, often fed by ultra-processed foods and low fiber, is linked to obesity and metabolic syndrome. By feeding these tiny partners with the right fibers and plant compounds, you are indirectly training them to support your metabolic health. Inflammation is your body's built-in alarm and repair system. When you cut your finger, inflammation rushes in to heal. But in metabolic syndrome, this alarm often stays partially switched on, smoldering in blood vessels, liver, and fat tissue. This chronic, low-grade inflammation quietly pushes blood sugar higher and damages arteries. The book reveals how specific foods act like firefighters, cooling the flames and allowing your tissues to exhale in relief. Every time you eat carbohydrates, your blood sugar rises and your pancreas releases insulin. Insulin is like a key that opens doors on cells, letting sugar in to be used as energy. In insulin resistance, common in metabolic syndrome, those doors become rusty. More and more insulin is needed for the same effect. Over time, this leads to higher blood sugar and deeper fatigue. Foods that slow sugar absorption and improve cell response can begin to polish those locks again. It may sound impossible eating more to burn fat, but the body is not a simple bank account of calories. It is a complex chemistry lab. Certain foods appear to encourage the formation and activation of brown fat, improve insulin sensitivity, and nudge your microbiome to produce fat-burning compounds. Eat to Beat Your Diet compiles this research to show that the right foods, eaten in the right patterns, can turn your meals into allies against metabolic syndrome. Imagine a 52-year-old office worker, Mr. Kim. His belt notch quietly moved out, one hole at a time. His doctor mentioned metabolic syndrome, prescribed pills, and suggested weight loss. Years of yo-yo diets had left him skeptical and ashamed. When he discovered Eat to Beat Your Diet, he did not start by counting calories. He started by adding a daily handful of nuts, swapping sugary drinks for tea, and building meals around vegetables. His story mirrors the science. At first, nothing dramatic happened. The scale barely moved. Mr. Kim felt impatient. Was this just another failed attempt? Yet, internally, his vessel lining was calming, his microbiome was shifting, his insulin resistance softening. In the next scenes, we will explore what happened over months, not days, and how the foods you choose can reshape lab results and waistlines alike. Before we reveal his transformation, let us arm you with the tools he used. One of the strategies in Eat to Beat Your Diet is time-restricted eating, creating daily windows when you eat and windows when you do not. This gentle form of fasting helps your body switch from storing mode to burning mode, especially at night. For people with metabolic syndrome, any change to eating patterns should be discussed with a physician, particularly if you take medications for blood sugar or blood pressure. Your metabolism follows a daily rhythm. Many studies, echoed in Dr. Lee's work, suggest that calories eaten earlier in the day are handled more efficiently than the same calories eaten late at night. For metabolic syndrome, shifting more of your energy intake to breakfast and lunch and lightening dinner can smooth blood sugar and reduce nighttime fat storage. It is less about eating less and more about eating in tune with your body's clock. Picture your plate divided like a simple map, half covered with non-starchy vegetables, a quarter with quality protein like fish, beans, or tofu, and a quarter with whole grains or slow-digesting carbs. Add a drizzle of healthy fats, such as olive oil, and a sprinkle of nuts or seeds. This pattern slows sugar absorption, feeds your microbiome, and supports vessels and brown fat. The goal is not perfection at every meal, but a steady pattern over time. Certain foods and ingredients appear to activate brown fat or mimic its effects. Green tea's catechins, chili peppers capsaicin, and even moderate coffee intake may gently boost calorie burning. Compounds in apples and pears have also been linked to healthier fat distribution. For those with metabolic syndrome, these are not magic bullets, but supportive tools. Always be mindful of caffeine tolerance and consult your physician about changes if you take medications. Dr. Lee is famous for his research on foods that influence angiogenesis. Tomatoes rich in lycopene, berries packed with anthocyanins, and certain herbs can help normalize vessel growth and protect against abnormal vessel formation linked to complications. For someone with metabolic syndrome, these foods become part of a daily maintenance crew for arteries, supporting healthy blood flow and blood pressure alongside any treatments recommended by your physician. Think of your gut as a garden. Fiber-rich foods such as beans, lentils, oats, and vegetables are the compost that nourishes beneficial bacteria. Fermented foods like yogurt, kefir, kimchi, and sauerkraut add new seeds to the soil. These microbes, in turn, produce short-chain fatty acids that improve insulin sensitivity and reduce inflammation. If you have digestive issues or complex diseases, tailoring these choices with a physician or dietitian's guidance is wise. Oxidative stress and chronic inflammation can damage DNA, the blueprint inside every cell. Over time, this damage contributes to aging and diseases related to metabolic syndrome. Foods rich in antioxidants, such as colorful vegetables, fruits, and even dark chocolate in modest amounts, help shield DNA from harm. Eat to beat your diet emphasizes that these foods do not give you a free pass to overeat, but they add armor to your cells during daily metabolic battles. Your immune system is like an army that should know when to attack and when to stand down. In metabolic syndrome, immune cells can become overly reactive, contributing to background inflammation. Foods rich in omega-3 fats, such as fatty fish and some seeds, as well as spices like turmeric and ginger, have been associated with more balanced immune responses. Discuss any herbal or supplement use with a physician, especially if you take blood-thinning medication. If you live with metabolic syndrome, numbers can feel like a judgment. Fasting glucose, triglycerides, HDL, blood pressure, weight. Each clinic visit may feel like a test you are failing. Dr. Lee's approach gently shifts your focus from fear of numbers to curiosity about signals. Instead of asking, "What is wrong with me?" you begin to ask, "What is my body telling me? And how can I answer with food, movement, and rest?" This question opens a door to self-compassion. Many people with metabolic syndrome carry silent shame about their bodies, their cravings, their so-called failures. Eat to beat your diet reminds us that biology, environment, and culture have all shaped our current state. Shame adds stress, and stress itself worsens insulin resistance and blood pressure. When you view food as a tool rather than a moral test, you step out of the shame cycle and into a practical, hopeful partnership with your own metabolism. At first, vegetables may taste bland and sugary drinks irresistible. This is not a character flaw. Your taste buds and brain reward pathways have been trained by years of heavy sweetness and salt. Research shows that within a few weeks of eating less sugar and more whole foods, taste buds begin to reset. Foods that once seemed boring start to reveal layers of flavor. This shift makes long-term change easier, as your body and brain begin to want what serves you. Sugar is not only in desserts. It hides in sauces, breads, breakfast cereals, and drinks marketed as healthy. For people with metabolic syndrome, these hidden sugars can keep insulin high all day, blocking fat burning and stressing vessels. Learning to read labels for added sugars and choosing whole, minimally processed foods becomes a powerful skill. Remember, your goal is not zero sugar for life, but awareness that lets you choose when sweetness is truly worth it. White bread, white rice, and many pastries quickly turn into sugar in the bloodstream. They are like paper thrown onto a fire, fast to ignite, fast to burn out, leaving you hungry again. Whole grains, on the other hand, burn more like logs, slower, steadier, kinder to your insulin and vessels. For metabolic syndrome, swapping some refined carbs for whole versions can smooth blood sugar spikes without asking you to abandon beloved cultural foods entirely. For years, dietary fat was labeled the villain, yet we now know that types of fat matter more than total grams. Trans fats and some saturated fats harm vessels and promote inflammation, while fats from fish, nuts, seeds, and olive oil can protect the heart, support the endothelium, and improve satiety. For metabolic syndrome, including small amounts of these healthy fats can save you from sugar crashes and help control appetite without overloading calories. Protein does more than build muscle. It slows the absorption of carbohydrates, blunts blood sugar spikes, and increases feelings of fullness. In Eat to Beat Your Diet, protein from fish, beans, lentils, eggs, and fermented soy plays a key role in constructing metabolism-friendly meals. For metabolic syndrome, balancing each meal with a source of quality protein can prevent the roller coaster of hunger and fatigue. If you have kidney disease, discuss protein intake with your physician. Water seems almost too simple, but mild dehydration can worsen fatigue, confuse hunger signals, and thicken the blood slightly, stressing vessels. Replacing sugary beverages with water, sparkling water, or unsweetened tea reduces sugar load and supports kidney function. For people with heart or kidney problems, fluid intake sometimes needs limits, so always follow medical advice. For most, gentle, regular hydration is a quiet ally in the fight against metabolic syndrome. Late-night eating is common in modern life, yet our bodies are least prepared to handle large meals when we should be asleep. Insulin sensitivity drops, digestion slows, and extra calories are more likely stored as fat. For metabolic syndrome, frequent heavy dinners and snacks near bedtime can be especially harmful. Gradually moving your last substantial meal earlier and choosing lighter options at night can work with your natural rhythms rather than against them. Poor sleep disturbs hormones like leptin and ghrelin, increasing hunger and cravings, and reduces insulin sensitivity. In metabolic syndrome, this hormonal chaos can reinforce weight gain and high blood sugar despite good intentions. Eat to Beat Your Diet reminds us that sleep is not a luxury, but a metabolic necessity. Darkening your bedroom, limiting screens before bed, and keeping a consistent schedule are simple, powerful ways to help your diet work better for you. Chronic stress floods the body with cortisol, a hormone that, in excess, promotes appetite, abdominal fat storage, and higher blood pressure. For someone with metabolic syndrome, relentless stress is like pouring gasoline on a smoldering fire. While we cannot erase life's difficulties, small practices, slow breathing, short walks, mindful eating can reduce cortisol surges. If stress feels unmanageable, reaching out for professional support can be as life-saving as any diet change. Exercise is often framed only as a way to burn calories. Dr. Lee highlights other benefits: improved blood vessel flexibility, increased insulin sensitivity, activation of brown fat, and healthier microbiome composition. For someone with metabolic syndrome, even modest regular movement, walking, light resistance training, gardening, can have metabolic effects beyond the scale. Before starting new exercise routines, especially with heart or joint problems, consult your physician. Nearly everyone on a health journey hits a plateau. The first weeks may bring exciting changes, then suddenly the scale freezes. This is not a sign of failure. It is your metabolism adjusting to a new normal. Eat to Beat Your Diet suggests focusing on other wins during these times: improved energy, better sleep, looser clothes, and lab numbers. Small tweaks, like adjusting fasting windows or increasing vegetables, can gently nudge progress without punishing yourself. Parties, family gatherings, and work events can feel like obstacle courses when you live with metabolic syndrome. Well-meaning people may push food, saying, "Just one won't hurt." Eat to Beat Your Diet encourages planning ahead, eating a small, protein-rich snack before events, scanning the table for vegetable and protein options, and choosing a few treats mindfully instead of all or nothing. Your health decisions do not need everyone's approval, only your quiet commitment. Food is identity, memory, and love. Metabolic syndrome can make you fear the dishes that connect you to family and culture. Dr. Lee's approach respects these ties. Many traditional cuisines already contain metabolism friendly elements, herbs, spices, legumes, fermented foods, and vegetables. Often, it is portion sizes, added sugars, and modern ultra processing that cause harm. By gently adjusting recipes and portions, you can honor your roots while healing your metabolism. Many people with metabolic syndrome take medications for blood pressure, cholesterol, or blood sugar. Eat to beat your diet does not argue against medicine. Instead, it shows how food can work alongside prescriptions, sometimes allowing doses to be adjusted under medical supervision as health improves. Never stop or change medications on your own. View each pill and each bite as partners in the same mission, protecting your heart, brain, and future vitality. Progress with metabolic syndrome is often slow and subtle. Regularly tracking waist circumference, blood pressure, fasting glucose, and lipid profiles with your healthcare team provides a clearer picture than a mirror alone. Some people also use home blood pressure monitors or glucometers guided by their physician. Eat to beat your diet encourages celebrating every small metric that moves in the right direction. They are quiet proof that your body is listening. There will be days, or even weeks, when old patterns return. Vacations, holidays, emotional slumps. The scale might bounce up, blood sugar might drift higher. This does not erase your progress. Metabolic health is built over months and years, not a single meal. After indulgent periods, Dr. Lee suggests simply returning to your core habits: metabolism-friendly plates, fasting windows, movement, and sleep. Like steering a ship, a small correction can eventually change your entire direction. Let us return to Mr. Kim. After 3 months of applying these principles, adding healing foods, gently adjusting meal timing, walking after dinner, he noticed his belt tightening one hole back. His fasting glucose dropped slightly, his triglycerides nudged down, and his energy dips after lunch faded. The changes were modest but undeniable. His doctor smiled and said, "Whatever you are doing, keep doing it." For the first time, Mr. Kim felt his body was not his enemy. At 6 months, the transformation deepened. Mr. Kim's waist had shrunk several centimeters. His blood pressure normalized with his physician's guidance, and one of his medications was reduced. He still enjoyed occasional sweets, but they no longer ruled him. Meals built around vegetables, legumes, fish, and whole grains had become his default. His microbiome, vessels, and brown fat were quietly celebrating every day. Each bite had become a small vote for his future self. Imagine a typical day on an eat-to-beat-your-diet-inspired plan for metabolic syndrome. Morning begins with a glass of water, then a breakfast of oats with nuts and berries, or eggs with vegetables and a small portion of whole grains. Coffee or tea is enjoyed without excess sugar. This meal slows blood sugar rise, feeds gut bacteria, and sets a calm hormonal tone. The day no longer starts with a sugar rush and crash, but with steadiness. At lunch, a large portion of vegetables shares the plate with legumes or lean protein drizzled with olive oil. Whole grains may appear in modest portions. A short walk after eating helps muscles soak up glucose like a sponge, easing the load on insulin. Instead of an afternoon crash, there is quiet productivity. For those with metabolic syndrome, checking how different lunches affect energy and glucose with medical guidance can be an empowering experiment. Dinner arrives earlier in the evening and is lighter than old habits. More vegetables, moderate protein, smaller starch portions. Sugary desserts are reserved for rare, intentional moments, not nightly habits. A calming routine replaces late-night snacking. Herbal tea, stretching, reading. Sleep comes more easily, and the body can devote the night to repair, not digestion. Over time, this pattern gently leans metabolism toward healing, one quiet evening at a time. If, despite consistent efforts, metabolic markers remain stubborn, it may be time to adjust dials with professional help. Doctors can evaluate for conditions like sleep apnea, thyroid issues, or medication side effects. Dietitians can fine-tune portions and combinations. Eat to beat your diet reminds us that needing help is not failure. Just as a pilot uses instruments and a ground crew, You can use healthcare experts and tools to navigate complex metabolic skies. Deep beneath lab numbers and diagnoses, your body still remembers how to be healthy. Blood vessels remember how to relax, cells remember how to burn fuel efficiently, and the microbiome remembers how to maintain balance. Metabolic syndrome does not erase this memory, it only buries it under years of signals. By eating to beat your diet, you are reminding your body who it is meant to be. Healing may be slow, but it is written into your design. For many, dieting has felt like punishment. Rigid rules, constant hunger, self-criticism. Eat to beat your diet invites a different relationship where you treat your body as a partner that responds to kindness and consistency. Each metabolism-friendly choice is not a punishment for what you ate yesterday, but a gift for who you will be tomorrow. For people with metabolic syndrome, this shift from fear to respect can be as healing as any nutrient. As you consider applying these ideas, bring your healthcare team into the conversation. You might ask, which of my numbers matter most right now? Is time-restricted eating safe for me? How can I adjust my medications if my blood sugar or pressure improve? Are there dietitians familiar with metabolic syndrome you recommend? Medical guidance ensures that your new eating patterns support, rather than unexpectedly conflict with, your treatment plan. Change can feel overwhelming, so begin with an experiment. For 7 days, choose 2 or 3 habits inspired by Eat to Beat Your Diet. Add vegetables to every meal, replace 1 sugary drink per day, or take a 10-minute walk after lunch. Notice how your energy, cravings, and sleep respond. These observations are as important as the scale. If anything feels off or if you live with complex medical conditions, share your plan and results with your physician. The most powerful truth of Eat to Beat Your Diet is this: you are never more than 1 meal away from influencing your metabolism. Even if yesterday was filled with sugar and stress, your next plate can send a different signal. For someone living with metabolic syndrome, this means that hope is always near. On the cutting board, in the pan, in your hands. With each choice, you plant seeds of healing that your future self will one day harvest. If metabolic syndrome has left you feeling trapped in your own body, let this be your invitation to a new story. Your metabolism is alive, listening to every signal you send. By eating to beat your diet, you are not chasing a perfect body. You are nurturing a healthier heart, mind, and future. Before you make big changes, please discuss your plans with your physician. If this journey resonates with you, please subscribe, like this video, and share it with someone who needs hope today.